This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, and today my fabulous co-host is Miss Jacqui Pugh. She is a freedom and fulfillment coach, and we are going to get all into what that means because, to be honest, I'm not quite sure myself. But I do want to point out before we get started, this is our last show of the year. Thank you so much for listening to being here with us all year long. You know, the last 2 weeks as we're going to the holidays, I want you to enjoy it with your family and friends. I want to enjoy it with my family and friends, but we will be back on January 3rd with amazing content that you know and you love. So just thank you for everybody for listening through the year. Okay, so Jacqui, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. And I'm like, January 3rd, that's my birthday. Yes, it's a great day to be back.
Oh my goodness. Oh, girl, happy birthday. We are like in the home stretch here.
Mhm.
Let's get into, first of all, what is a freedom and fulfillment coach?
Yeah, freedom and fulfillment is usually what my clients end up experiencing when we are at the end of my program.
Okay.
They usually come in feeling unfulfilled, feeling like they can't live life on their terms, that they have to go and play by society's terms or their family's terms or whatever that is. And by the end of it, they feel completely free and fulfilled from the inside out.
I love that. Now, if you're listening right now and you're saying, wait, Amber, what does this have to do with beauty? I want to point out that we're doing things a little bit different. Again, last show of the year. And I know that this can be a very difficult time for us. And I want you to go into the holidays, not only looking your best, but also feeling your best. So if you're single, if you're having issues about, I don't know, getting together with family, if you have anxiety about this time of year, we're going to make sure that you're feeling your best. So, Jacqui, how did you become a freedom and fulfillment coach?
That is a loaded question. um, I have always been the inspirer since I was a little girl. And honestly, if I knew that that was a job, I probably would have gone to school for psychology, but I didn't. And long story short, I ended up taking surf lessons from this guy. And his energy, I wanted to be around him all the time. Like he's just a light. And he started posting little different like 3-minute videos on Facebook about different things. And I could tell he was starting to build a business, becoming a life coach. And it was a thing. I want to do this. And so I hit my rock bottom in life where I was unfulfilled and not feeling free in literally every area of my life. I've been through 3 traumatic heartbreaks, like breakups back to back to back. I mean, like
Traumatic. Been
stories.
there,
They have
sister. Mm-hmm.
yes. And I was in real estate. I was really good at it because I cared, but I hated it. I was hanging around people where I didn't necessarily have a lot in common with them, but I felt like I should be networking and, filling the things for my job. And I had stuff going on with family and just literally every area of my life I was unfulfilled. And one day I had hit my rock bottom and I was depressed for 2 months. I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't work, nothing. And in the last week of that, I finally made it to the couch and I was like, what's the common denominator? What is the common denominator in all of the unfulfillment in my life? Because once I find it out, I'm going to blame it so hard. I can't wait. And I figured it out. And it was me. And I was like, me? How could it be me? So I had a whole like 5 minutes of being victim. But that's why I realized, wait a minute, if it's me, that means I'm not waiting for anything outside of me, for the boss to change, for the boyfriend to change, for the friends to change, for the family to change. I have the power to change it all right now. And so the surf instructor that I met, I hired him and worked with him in his group coaching program. Like, you know how they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears? Literally that day, this man launched a group coaching program for the first time ever. And I was like, I don't have no idea how I'm going to pay for it. I have not worked in 2 months, but this is for me. And so I spent $5,000 that I did not have, found a way out of no way, and got in there. And I changed my whole life. And I was like, this is what I want to do for other people. This is what I want to do. And now that's what I give to other people. And I'm actually laughing because what you're like, how does this have anything to do with your beauty? Right. And I will tell you guys, men were coming up to me, like guy friends were coming up to me being like, Jacqui, what are you doing? Your skin is glowing. And just yesterday, I have a 24-year-old I don't know the politically correct term anymore. Um, he's Black, a Black 24-year-old client. And I looked at him. We only had 3 sessions together. I was like, your skin is glowing. He's like, you see it too? He's like,
Because
I woke up this
confidence,
morning.
right?
Yeah,
Confidence is
yes.
beautiful. I try to tell people all the time, when I met my husband, I was actually, I would say like 20 pounds heavier. Like, my fashion wasn't, I was in my 20s. Actually, no, I was like I just turned 30. I did not have my stuff together in any way, but I was so confident. I was with my best friend. I'd gone through a huge heartbreak, a huge heartbreak. We used to like sit and call the diner and be like, you see the right side of the menu, just send that over. But I was living my best life. I'd finally gotten my groove back. I was traveling. I was having a great time with my girlfriends. And I think that even though I look now and I'm like, ugh, that's not how I felt my physically best. My husband's like, I remember you so beautiful because you were shining with confidence. And that really does matter. It
It matters.
does. So
It
you have
matters.
actually taken you've totally transformed your career.
My career, my life, my family dynamics, my friendships, my finances. Like, I mean, literally, I'm a full life transformation coach. Every area of my life, I have transformed.
So, I do want to get into, like we mentioned at the top of the show, the holidays can be tough. They can be great for some people, but I think actually in some ways they can be tough on everybody. Um, do you have any advice? Let's start with the people who are single this time of year.
Mhm.
Whether you've never been in a relationship or there's people who have lost a relationship, either they've broken up or divorced, or maybe somebody's passed away.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people to not feel so distraught during the holidays?
One, I am a proponent of feeling your feelings because emotions are just energy in motion. That's literally what emotion means. And so they're meant to come through and we experience them and they pass. But oftentimes, with how our society is these days, like it's not cool to feel an emotion, right? So they come through and we're like, that one's not cute. I'm just going to shove it down and I'm going to carry it with me everywhere. And like energy attracts like energy. So my first invitation would be it's okay. You're human. Feel it without guilt, let it out. And there are things that you can do. Like, I never in a million years thought that I could say, I love being single. And if
Right.
I meet my person in this lifetime, amazing. If not, that's okay. I never thought that I would get that way. But you can find companionship and get a pet, call your friends. I know a lot of times if we're feeling yucky, we don't want to feel like we're a burden on other people, or we're like, oh, maybe they don't want to hang out with me. They haven't reached out to me in a while. And so we'll just play extra small, especially during the holidays. I want to challenge you. Like, reach out to 3 people that you have not spoken to in a while, that when you leave them, you feel more energy. You know what I mean? Like, do you ever leave people and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There are people in my life who are definitely energy suck. And then there are definitely people who, my best friends who are just givers of life and energy and can make you, and who I actually always call when I'm feeling down. I think they
Yeah.
do the same with me, but those are my best friends, right? Because, it's like, all right, I need to get this off my chest, or I need somebody to kind of put things in perspective. I
Mhm.
love this idea that you're saying, let it happen, feel your emotions, and then maybe you can let them go as opposed to carry them on.
Yes,
That's
because there's
great
a
advice.
difference between wallowing and allowing.
Okay.
Like, if we wallow, we're just sitting in it and I'm having a pity party and this is my life and I'm in victim mode, but I shouldn't be feeling like this. So I have all this guilt. So it's staying with me. But when we allow it, okay, I literally will tell myself if I'm having, like, I could tell if it's a hormonal thing or if it's a mindset thing or an emotional thing. And if I know that it's some type of hormonal or emotional thing, I literally will just be like, fine, Jack, if this is how you need to feel right now, feel it. Feel
I
it.
mean, sometimes it's all three, and that's when I'm like, yikes, good luck, world, watch out. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's really, really great advice. Let it flow, let it go. Is there like a time limit on how, like, when you work with clients and they're feeling really
Mhm.
down, whether it's, relationship wise or where they are in their life, is there a time where you're like, okay, you can feel this for like X amount of times? Like when you break up, it's like, wasn't it Sex in the City that was like half the time
Yeah.
that you were together, you're allowed to like feel bad about it? Is there any
Yes.
kind of guideline
That's
on
what
how
she
long
said.
when it's time to say, okay, no,
No,
get
there's
off the pity
not.
pot? Okay.
There's not. But if I do catch that my clients are wallowing and not allowing, tough love's going to be coming, and they're going to move out of it much quicker, right? I have tools and stuff to take them through. But typically speaking, just to like give an idea, I guess, of what's possible, like for me, when I give myself that permission, maybe a phase that would have taken me a month to get out of, like a funk, or a week to get out of, when I give myself that permission, a time in specific coming to mind was a Friday, and by Sunday I was back to myself. But I
Got it.
went there. I stayed at home. I was under the covers. I took a bath. I did the thing, and then I was able to move out. But and for my clients, when they come to me in a state like that, even going through a breakup, I mean, I have people who've done therapy for 25 plus years,
Yeah.
and week 5, they're like, I had no idea that I could feel like this. But part of it is allowing the emotion. That's part of it. And the other part, another little tip I'd like to give is Chris Evans talks about this. And Chris Evans, if you're watching,
I mean,
let's go on a date.
same. And husband, if you're listening, which I know you're not, you can come too.
We can go too. We'll have a threesome. Like you guys will go on a little fun date. He talks about having romance with life, and it's something that I do as well. So instead of being at home and being, even if you are in a relationship, you can still feel lonely, right? So instead of being at home and like, oh, like I'm all alone and nobody loves me, and look how cozy it is outside and I'm here by myself, I love it. I like, I get my twinkle lights on. I'll go make like a hot cocoa. I'll put on my favorite movie. I'll curl up in my bed with like a fuzzy blanket. I'll have my dog, and I literally will just look around and be like, oh, I'm having a romantic moment with life right now. Like me and life are in this. I'm not by myself. We created something special.
I mean, I know I love my alone time. I spend a lot of my time alone because I work from home. My husband goes out to work. He
Mhm.
works long hours. I think that one of the things that I learned early on was like to be, if you could be comfortable being by yourself, that is like the greatest gift of all, because then you're right. You can just have a relationship with life, with the things around you. You're not relying on somebody else to give you that.
Mhm.
You had mentioned somewhere, maybe I'd read it, but that single time is your golden time. Can you
Yes.
tell me a little bit about what you meant when you said that?
Yeah. I think that so many people don't utilize their single time efficiently.
Okay.
It like even somebody, you just shared a really great story though. You're like, I was feeling confident, I was doing right. Like that's what your single time gets to be about if you allow it. And then in turn, you attracted an amazing man,
Right.
right? You found the love of your life and you got married because she didn't care what she looked like on the outside. She was feeling amazing on the inside, and that
Yes,
made her
ma'am.
outside look different, just naturally. And someone that I know, that's pretty close to me, they would cry so often on the phone. I'm always literally, she was like always the bridesmaid, like sometimes like 4 times in a summer, like I'm always a bridesmaid, or I'm always a maid of honor. I don't have anybody. Is it ever gonna be me? And now she's married and she has 3 kids and the house and the fence and all the things. And I asked her, if you could have spent your single time differently, knowing that your life was gonna end up like this, would you have spent it any differently? She was like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I spent so much time being sad and crying,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until she got into therapy and changed how she was feeling. So for me, single time is your golden time, because the divorce rate is super high. But I think it's because so many people don't take the time, and you could do this even if you are married or in a relationship. I work with people in relationships as well. But taking that time just for you, that solo time, to figure out who you are,
Right.
what actually lights you up. Why do you operate the way that you do? What are your patterns? Why are you always attracted to the guy or the girl that's like too cool and emotionally unavailable? And that's who you end up with every single time. Like, let's figure out why so that you can
Well,
change it.
my ex before, when I met my husband, he was kind of like a little bit goofy and doofy. And I was used to dating like bankers and going out to these fancy places. And then one day I realized my type was a dick. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when I met my husband, I'm like, he's not my type. He's not my type. And then I was like, wow, here's this amazing, funny type. Wait a minute. Why has my type been such a douchebag up until now? I need to change that. This is the type that I really want. So that's a really good point. Give yourself a little bit of that self-examination sometimes, because right, all the problems in our life, as you mentioned before, the common denominator is always going to be us. And we do have the power to change some things, not everything, right? But
Well,
some
yeah, but
things.
a lot we can. And I think that there's a huge stigma around, well, but this bad thing happened to me, right? There's this thing happened to me, or this person did this thing to me. And some of those things might actually be really bad. And I'm not saying that we aren't victims in situations like that.
Right.
However, it is our responsibility to heal from it and grow from it.
Right.
And I know a lot of times when we hear responsibility too, people are like, but that shouldn't be my responsibility. Responsibility is just taking our power back. You're just taking your power back. You're saying, you in that situation no longer control me.
Yeah.
I'm literally making the situation gold.
I love
Thank
that.
you.
It is really about kind of owning it and taking your power back. That's such a wonderful way to put it. Going back to this idea, because we do know, I don't know, why are the holidays so depressing? Why do you think they can be so depressing for people when they're single? Why is that like the go-to?
I think it's because, once again, going back to society, it's like you have the love rom-coms, which I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
I love.
love a
But
rom-com.
I watch them and I see other couples as, oh, that's what's waiting for me
Right.
when I'm ready, right? With divine timing, that's what's waiting for me versus look at what I don't have. And the
Right.
more we think like that, the more we're going to attract that. But I think that with the rom-coms and the coziness, and when you get together for holidays and everybody's like, bring your plus one to this event, bring your plus one, we immediately think that the plus one has to be a significant other. And I'm about to go to a wedding tomorrow, and I'm about to bring one of my best girlfriends. And I had the option of bringing guy friends too. And I'm like, I would much rather go with my girlfriend because she wants to dance. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Because
have
she's so
fun
much more fun.
together.
I went to a wedding with my best friend in India. We went
Oh my
as dates, and
gosh.
she was like, "Can I bring my best friend?" And they were like, "Yeah, I guess so." And we have the best time together because it's your best friend. You're gonna have the best time. That's a great
Yeah.
idea. Is if ask if there's an event with a plus one. Great advice is ask if you can bring your bestie.
Bring your bestie. Like,
Just
bring your bestie. Even love songs come on, in holiday songs. We're like, oh, it's about like two sexy people like sitting next to each other, roasting chestnuts by an open fire. But I like to play a game with my clients, and I challenge everybody listening to listen to, even if you're in a relationship, listen to any love song. And I guarantee at least 95% of them could be sung from your higher self to you.
oh,
It
that's
doesn't,
nice.
we think it's about somebody else, but it really could be from your higher self to you. So, like, one of my go-tos is, I don't know who sings it, Love, maybe Luv. Like, I like me better when I'm with you. That song.
Okay.
So
Yes. Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
like,
yeah.
that one's like my jam. And I'm like, yeah, Jack, I do like me better when I'm with you and I'm not tearing you down. Like, let's go out and have fun today. Like, let's create a good memory. All the love songs could literally be about your higher self loving you. And it can literally start to rewire your brain and make you feel completely different in a totally different state. So I invite
Also,
everybody out there to go do that.
you know what? There is a much greater chance, let me tell you, of me, myself, and I roasting chestnuts than me and my husband. Like, that's never going to happen. We're never going to roast chestnuts on an open fire. Now, I might with myself. But, also, I will say from the relationship side, like, sometimes the idea of what
Mhm.
you think you're going to have is like really not the reality.
I agree.
It's not the reality. This has been so helpful. Are there any other wonderful tips that you have, before we kind of wrap this up for people who might be single during the holidays?
Choose choose your word. Even if you're not single, choose your
Okay.
word for next year. So New Year's is coming up. Choose your word. And what I mean by that is kind of like your intention. And I have seen this populate in my life. I'm like, wow, I know I said that. Knows that was my word, but holy cow, did I grow? I got what I asked for. One of my clients, her word for the year was love. She met the love of her life. My best friend, she went through my program. Her word of the year was opulence at the beginning of the year. And that was not her life. I'm just going to put it like that. That was not her life. And what has come from it? Like, she has this amazing job. She flies to Italy. She flies to the Hamptons. She goes to Vail. She's dating this amazing man. Like, she has a beautiful brand new apartment. Like, literally that became her reality. My thing was creation and expression. And I didn't know really what was going to happen. And then I kind of like went through like a little phase where I wasn't really feeling it. And the amount of things that I have created this year that have just come out of me is crazy to me. Like, so many programs and podcasts and like all the things. So if you want your life to be different, like just tell the universe, this is what I'm putting out here for next year, and watch it change.
I love it. So pick your word and then kind of act on it. Yeah.
You have to act on it. You have to act on it.
Pick your word and act on it. Don't pick your word and then put it in your back pocket and forget it. Pick your word and act on it. I want to just say, Jacqui, thank you so much for being on, and everybody who's listening right now, again, I hope that this gives you some, whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, no matter what your status is, I hope it gives you some reminders of how beautiful it is to be with yourself, how much power that we have to sort of control the direction of our own lives. You mentioned going into New Year's, if you make resolutions and that's your thing, we can actually sort of make those come to life. I love this idea of picking a word. If people want to know more about you, you are the most positive person. Like, I've been smiling this entire interview because you just exude this confidence and friendliness. If people want to work with you, if they're ready to kind of make a change in their own lives, how can they do that?
Yeah, you can go to my website, JacquiPugh.com, and I'm sure it'll be in the notes somewhere.
Yes.
On how to spell that, because it's different. So, and you can go to programs, and you'll see a program under there called Burn. You can apply there. You can find me on Instagram and send me a note there, and I'm happy to send you an application and see if we can, if I can truly help you. If I can't, I will never be like, yes, do my program. Like, that's why all of my clients have mind-blowing transformations, because I will only help you if I think I can. Otherwise, I know tons of other people who are in my same field who may be able to help. So Instagram is usually where I hang out. So you can find me there or on my website.
Amazing. When you talk about a program, like how long ballpark is a program?
Yeah, it's 4 months long.
Okay.
It's called Burn, Using Your Old Flame to Light Your New Fire. And it's deep. I'm not going to lie. It's deep, but we have fun, and you come out a brand new person. All my single clients who've gone through it, 50% of them have already found the love of their life afterwards. Yeah.
Starts with you. It starts with you.
As a group. So if anybody is interested, the next one's going to be starting at the end of January, beginning of February. So, and I only do it twice a year. So you're going to want to make sure to
sign up.
In there.
And we'll make sure to have that in the notes for sure. I want to thank you, Jacqui, so much for being on with me today. What a wonderful.
Thank you for having me. I love your energy too.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know what? I'm ready to go into the holidays. Like you said, everybody, 2 weeks off, but we will be back on January 3rd, Jacqui's birthday. So let's put out some positive vibes for Jacqui's birthday. I hope that you have had such a wonderful year. I've enjoyed going through so many different things with you this year. I want to thank everybody who's listening. Your support means the world. If you have questions you want me to pass on to Jacqui, you can do that. You can email us at hello@artbeautypodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Art Beauty Podcast. And as always, we will see you. I always say next Tuesday, but we're going to see you next year. Hopefully brighter and beautiful. Is that your puppy in the back? Chiming in. I love it. We get everybody involved.
I put you on mute. I was like, no, I think the mailman just got here.
No worries. All right. Well, you go. Have a wonderful day. Happy birthday. And we'll see you next year, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, lovely.